Yo, peace,
What's
beloved,
up?
peace. It's your homie, Young Content, the unofficial sensei of the culture, mastering youthfulness and contentment. And we have an epic show for you today. The one and only Influence, the MMO game of MMO games. There's a couple, but this one is on my radar. What up, homie?
Hey man, how's it going?
Do you hear echo?
No, I don't hear any echo.
Thank God. Uh, Speaking of echo, we have your this piece of art from Influence. How's your day? First of all, everyone knows that I got fired. I just posted on Twitter, but I'm fired up for this NFT life. You got fired today too?
No,
Fired
thank
up?
God.
Okay.
Oh, I'm fired up. I didn't get fired.
Okay, cool.
But no, day's been good. Fucking busy. We're launching on Saturday, so I don't think I have enough hours in the day to get everything I want to get done, but we'll get there. We're gonna have everything prepped and ready for people to you know pile in a long line to buy some asteroids.
Yeah, man. Buy some asteroids. People are
Victory!
buying everything left and right. Deck nuts, what's up, dude? People buying everything left and right, from wax to Pokemons to all these parachain auctions. There's a lot of things going on in the FT space. How are you guys keeping up with it? And do you guys even keep up with the players in Influence? And kind of give people a brief overview of what Influence is for the viewers that are here.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, Influence is a space strategy MMO powered by Ethereum, built on the blockchain, and all the assets that players utilize in game are owned by them as NFTs. So we're basically giving true ownership of game content to the players. So, this game's kind of based around, if people know EVE Online or the show The Expanse. It's a sci-fi game, and it's based around 250,000 asteroids circling a star, and
Victory!
we will basically be players will colonize this area and create marketplaces and wage war and build corporations, and yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun, and it's wild that I get to be part of this. So
Is
yeah, thanks for
is
having
your
me.
CEO Jeff Bezos? Is he like gonna take over the world in the meta? Like, is this guy fucking evil, fucking Lex Luthor character? What's the face behind this look like? Because you're a part of this. You're the part of the face too.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Our team's pretty small, but the creator behind the game really is just like in love with these types of games, and has been a huge blockchain nerd for a long time, and realized probably 8 years ago what its potential could be for the gaming space, and over the last decade he's been kind of crafting it in his mind, and then over the last 2 years has been
Is the owner
developing.
Craig Wright, right?
No, his name's Chris.
Okay, cool. I was just joking about Craig Wright. Goldie says, "What up?" If you know who Goldie is from Parallel Discord, always
Yeah, what's going
creating.
on, Goldie?
Goldie Deck Nuts is here. Goldie says hello. Walshy, nice early stream tonight. I like it. What up, my Atlanta, Canada brother? What up, Walshy guys? I'm going full time. All right, I'm going balls to the wall in NFTs. I have no other choice. And you're gonna give us some tips, right? We'll talk about that later. But how did you get into the NFT game? And is it overwhelming? Is it fun? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. It's pretty wild being part of like such a new, uh, like I don't like technology combined with hype and fad and all this stuff. It's like influence itself is we didn't expect NFTs to become this huge thing. Like this was not the like we just were putting out this game, and it kind of the launch coincides with kind of the peak market of NFTs. So it's like we didn't plan that. It could be good, it could be bad. People might think that like, oh, they're just launching because NFTs are crazy, and like I assure everyone
Are
like
you guys money
don't go
grabbing?
no, God, no. If you look at our game, you'll realize how much work we've put into this thing. It's not a 2D nothing. And I'm not saying other games are bad, but like this is a
This
full
actually has
immersive
some sweat
world.
equity into it.
Yeah, yeah, buckets of it. So
For sure. Buckets of buckets. And
Victory!
that probably is going to be a resource you need to stream an asteroid. Parallels in the building. It says, here is a full tilt. He's all in full tilt. Let's fucking go. Mike Sarn. What up? Yeah, what up, Michael Sarn? What up, dude? iFig config. Hello. Hello to you too. Mind Lube. What's Mind Lube? This guy said, I'm here to fuck and mine the belt, and I'm out of the lube. So, talk about mining the belt in this game. What is that?
yeah,
There's probably a lot of people from the Discord coming in here.
yeah. Let's kind of give them the lay of the land. Like how is like so on the launch, not all of this is possible. In on launch, you're really going to be able to buy the land in game. You're going to be able to scan the asteroids. You're going to be naming your asteroids, and then you're going to be able to participate in secondary market. OpenSea, whatever it is that you want, and whatever people do there, it's their business. It's an NFT, so you have the power to sell it if you want. But the game itself is, in my opinion, incredibly cool and extremely expansive in what you can do. So,
Give us the leaks. You got leaks already? What are you playing?
Victory!
oh God, we don't we can't like there's no full gameplay videos we can show, We have some art that we can show, and I'm sure you might have some.
Yeah, I'm
But like,
pulling up the high speed shuttle, which is the blue. It looks beautiful. It's on screen right now.
yeah, it's that was made by one of my buddies, Scott, who has worked for like Warner Brothers and Lucasfilms and things like that. So not small timers. Like another one of our artists is like Magic the Gathering, long time OG there. So that's pretty cool. We're honored to have them as part of our team. But in short, like this game is going to be an all out like virtual economy. Anything that you can imagine that you want to do based around like asteroid mining, marketplaces, traveling about, pirating, protecting, uh, like it's all there. And so players are going to get to decide what they want to do in game and, go for it. So owning one of these asteroids, uh, there are different resource types that are found on each one of these asteroids. And so if you own a particular one, you might be more powerful as a pirate versus maybe like a merchant or something like that. And we have some guides that you can go check out. Join the Discord if you're not already there, and go to the announcements channel and all this other stuff. And we have plenty for you to check out. But the game on April 17th is going to basically just allow you to pop into the metaverse, get situated, stake your claim, and then in future releases, we'll start being able to build structures, ships, mine your asteroid for resources, and be able to trade your resources on the open market within game. And there's all kinds of crazy things you can do there. I don't know how much you want me to go into it. I
I
don't
would
want
I
to
would
lose
wait right
anyone.
now just because I don't want you to, you know what I mean, Chewbacca these people. But
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I would say that how does someone like you like are you guys a small team and you just guys have great connections in the industry where you can pull Warner Brothers in and you can pull um, Magic the Gathering artists, or is that something you're looking for? You and they want to like cross pollinate with you guys.
You know, I'll say that Chris is fairly connected. I happen to be lucky and just grew up with a really epic artist. So on that side of this stage, like we're pretty fortunate. But hey, anyone listening that's like a badass artist, developer, whatever, like keep us in mind. Like reach out to us. We might have some positions open up here pretty soon after launch. So, feel free to show us your resume.
Someone said, "Will ships be available during launch?"
So no, ships will come in a later release.
Good question.
However, we will start seeding a lot of content in what that's going to look like, how it's going to work, game mechanics, everything here pretty soon. But the launch really is going to be like you're going to be able to buy your asteroid, scan it for bonuses, and I can go into that a little bit more because that's a very interesting thing. And then name your asteroid. So if we go into like what these bonuses are and why they're important and why you'd want to purchase
You
during
guys
the
want to listen up, all right? I know we normally do this in like minute 33, but this is in minute 13.
yeah, I'll go over it briefly. We can talk about it more later, but like essentially the early adopters, people who are, you know, gracing us with their commitment and interest in our game are going to secure the best possible bonus multipliers on their asteroids. So essentially, there's a random probability, like the roll of the dice when you buy an asteroid after you scan it, it'll reveal bonuses. And the earlier that you buy an asteroid within it, the first 11,100 asteroids will have bonus multipliers, meaning you have a higher likelihood of getting legendary, or we call them superior, exceptional, or incomparable bonuses. Like some pretty cool things. The rarest thing in the game is going to be like an asteroid with an orbiting moon. If you got that, it's like that's the sealed signed Charizard card that's never been taken out of its case. That's what you want.
And are there like because I noticed some NFT artists putting Easter eggs in their stuff. Is that something as a gamer that this the dev team is exploring, or is it more like, hey, those moons are your Easter eggs? Or
So I think that's part of kind of the Easter eggs. But another main reason why you don't just know like you can't just go buy the best asteroid is that would ruin it because the people who have lots of money would then just go buy the best ones, and it wouldn't be fair to all the other players. So that probability of bonuses is random because otherwise it would be a completely unfair advantage to people who could just go ahead and buy all the best ones. So that's why we're doing it. We think it's really fun. I mean, coming from the gaming, like I've played games all my life. I'm now working on one. It's that chance element is something that like I'm so drawn to in games, but it's not something that's going to make or break the game. Like if you get one, let's say that doesn't have any bonuses, for example, like you're still going to have a great time playing. So I wouldn't worry about that. It's just we want to incentivize people who are coming in early, or we want to reward, not incentivize people who are coming in early.
Speaking of people coming in early, the only reason I know about you is because of Parallel. Parallel
Yeah.
stuff is up, and you guys have literally like I was thinking that NBA Top Shot should collab with Parallel, or maybe like CryptoPunks, but you guys did it first, and that's kind of epic. Did you why Parallel? Or they were just super friendly and they just wanted to.
Yeah. So to give some people some backstory, Parallel is a really awesome game in development right now on blockchain. That's kind of similar to Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, God's Unchained, but they've got a lot of unique character to it that I'm not at liberty to talk about, and it's not my game, so I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. But how we're working kind of together, and I should say more, Influence is working to bring Parallels content into Influence's game. So it's
Wow.
not like Parallels isn't like having to work with us like consistently to make that possible. That's the beauty of NFTs. Because they've created their cards as NFTs, we are now able to point to those cards and reference them in our game to unlock certain things. So we have the ability, they have different parallels. They're like kind of factions, and one of them fits really well with our game. They're called the Ogden Core. They're really, really, they're basically space asteroid miners. So they work really well in our game as a space asteroid mining game. So
I pull up the
they're
graphene battery and just
yeah,
reading
dude,
about the
that
lore
art.
of these people. They're blue collar miner space families that take pride in their work. They take pride in their shipbuilding abilities. They take pride in the evolution of that parallel. So
So, so the rough idea, because it's still early to tell, and I don't want to be pegged down or disappoint anyone, but those Ogden Core cards are going to play a role in some of the technology trees within Influence for asteroid mining. So that's a little bit of a spoiler there. But yeah, so people, if you weren't already excited, hopefully that gets you a little bit
oh
excited.
my
I think
back,
I think
dude.
it's just
That
it's a cool thing that we have the ability to do as blockchain games utilizing NFTs, is to collaborate rather than compete. And so, EA and Blizzard, they probably don't like sit down at a table and go, all right, how can we help you with your game, or like anything like that. But with ours, like we're completely different types of games that happen to be able to utilize the NFTs without permission. So to be able to talk to their team and say, hey, like we would like to do this. I know we don't need your permission, but like, what do you think about it? And then being like, hell yeah. I mean, that's super cool.
speaking of not needing the permission, doesn't it? Don't you get involved with like IP battles or cease and desist letters if you don't ask? Like you,
No, not really. I mean, I guess it's going to depend on the content, but because an NFT is owned by the rights, unless there's specific things built into the NFT to limit the rights to something, then the person who owns the NFT has the rights. So like, it's not something that we or any other game or person can really control. It's kind of the beauty of NFTs, is that like whoever has that NFT owns it. However, you know, I can look at it, I can track the wallet that it's addressed to, I
yeah,
can link it to a game.
yeah.
It opens the world. It's not open source, but it's like I honestly don't know the term for it yet, but it's a really interesting and wild new frontier
Did
for
you pick up any
content.
Augencore cards during that pre-show?
So I didn't know that we were gonna be collaborating with them till after I had bought all the Earthen cards.
Dude,
So
I
I'm
picked
hard
up a
Earthen.
graphite battery, but I didn't pick up that Keftrim examine. I don't know what that shit means.
Yeah, there's some cool shit that Parallels has done. I think kind of going back into influence though is like I think it just shows the foresight that we've put into this game. Like this isn't something that's just like two people had an idea 3 months ago and like slapped it together really fast and we're like, okay, like
This
let's
has
try
been
and get some
years of work. It looks
yeah,
like.
this is years of work coming to fruition. So I think if people and we've had a little bit of I wouldn't say a tough time, but it's like we wish that we could show you like hardcore gameplay, but we just can't do that right now for the players. So I think us being able to talk on these types of platforms and just really showcase that like the caliber of what we've been putting out is good enough for hopefully people to want to get involved early. And if you decide that hey it's too early and I want to participate later on maybe
Victory!
more power to you. Whatever you want to do, that's okay. There are going to be plenty of people who are participating early, and you might have to rent or lease out an asteroid from someone.
For
Like
sure.
you're so.
I feel like
uh,
I'm lucky to know this info. Parallel said keftrexamine. That's what it's called. Keftrexamine.
it
That sounds like methamphetamine, but like keftrexamine. That's what's up.
sounds like a designer drug, like millennials will take.
For real, bro. That sounds like on some. Yeah, they're futurist. Parallel said, Give everyone something no one knows yet about your game, but you're excited about."
Oh, okay, that's a good question. Chris, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I don't even like, I don't know if this is even pegged down, but there's a lot of interesting things that we're developing. And a spoiler would be almost every game that you've played that's like an MMO, when you learn skills, you learn them from an NPC, a computer. You go up to them, you pay them the mythical gold, and you learn some talent. You learn how to cast a fireball spell or something like that. However, in our game, Influence, we are toying around the idea. We're still figuring out the balancing act of it, but you can be a scientist, and scientists are able to teach other people skills. So you are a walking library of skills that people have to pay the price to learn your skill, whatever your price is set at.
So, say if
Whatever.
you're a captain or engineer, is that the meta you guys are thinking, like how to fly or how to?
It's. I think I don't want to give too much away.
I know. I'm giving you giving the whole spaghetti here.
No. It's fine. I think let's think about it as like we'll go back to mining. Um, there's going to be skills that you can learn to increase your efficiency in mining and things like that. So me as a player, I may have unlocked that. And now I have the ability to teach other people that skill. So people are going to have to search you out if it's a really rare skill and, maybe give you resources or a ship, or maybe they bribe you into their corporation. They're like, hey, come be part of our corporation and we'll, pay you a percentage of what we're earning as a corporation here as long as you teach the skills to the people that we deem are worthy within this corporation.
Wow.
So
So
it's going to be
what?
pretty wild.
So you take the NPCs out, you give the um, NPCs an actual identity, and you dominate the world. That's what's up.
Yeah, and that's not to say that people can only learn skills through other people. Like there's going to be set skills you can learn on your own and you can progress. Like we don't want it to be where like one guy knows everything and he's making, millions of resource whatever credits or cryptocurrency, Ethereum, whatever it ends up being that players use as the common currency in game. Uh, but it's going to be interesting for sure. I think the
I think the way
Encore
that
will.
Destiny does it, where they have everyone in the meetup group or the headquarters, and then you can kind of interact and trade and talk. Would you guys have that in your game, or
Oh,
the central hub?
marketplaces are going to be huge within our game, and we're going to see a lot of that develop right after launch. And how that'll kind of develop is, let's just say we have 50,000 people buy asteroids, but 10,000 people buy asteroids that are really close to each other. Well, there's incentive for that group of people to try and make a marketplace near them, because that means more economy will flow near them. So there will be natural competition of like, hey, my marketplace is here. We charge a smaller percentage. Come to our marketplace.
Yeah.
Or hey, we're close to everyone. So like
Yeah.
obviously you want to use ours. You don't
Yeah.
want to fly across the galaxy to
Yeah.
to get some parts
And,
for your
and
ship.
theoretically, you could monopolize, say, obsidian, like a certain material. No, if a big enough group comes together and say, hey, we're gonna just corner this market here, that takes a lot of work. Yes,
Yeah,
but
I think we're going to definitely see people who know how to manipulate markets, but not in like an evil way. But like how I think about it is, I have a really good friend who is really incredible at the World of Warcraft auction house. He knows what's going to be valuable and when it's going to be valuable, and so months and months prior, he'll usually buy it for cheap. He'll find it on the auction house. He'll buy it for cheap. He'll mine it. He'll find it. He'll go
it's
harvest it
it's
himself.
kind of like, sorry to cut you off, but that's like that enduring shield from Gods and Chain, the core card that sold for $500,000. It's a fucking free card. I'm just joking. That was a glitch in the system.
Well, yeah, and so it's kind of going like, if you're smart and you can read trends and strategy and what's going to be important in game, then you're going to be able to do well in the markets. I think the biggest way I could point that out is when we start to release PvP combat, which is our last phase of this game. Ship fuel will likely be extremely sought after because there's going to be a lot of combat, and therefore ships will be moving around, and fuel will then spike in price. So we're likely going to see a, a time frame before this happens where people are kind of hoarding it, knowing that they're going to need a lot of it. And then when war happens and people are fighting and people need more fuel, the price of
Wow.
fuel is going to go up.
Oh man, I don't mean to bring. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you something. It says, I'm breaking my fucking testicles looking for rare rocks. That's what someone said that. Goldie says, so correct me if I'm wrong, but no asteroids have been brought or sold yet. That first sale is coming up in a few days.
Correct. Yeah. So Saturday, April 17th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 7 a.m. for our West Coasters like me. That will be released. The only asteroid that has been purchased in game is the shared giant asteroid, our prime asteroid. That's going to be the starting place for people who don't own asteroids, because
Wow.
this is a free to play game. So if you don't own an asteroid, you can still play. You're just going to have a little bit less um, to start with. You're going to have more competition because everyone else who doesn't own an asteroid is going to start there as well.
What's
You're
the
also
max
not going to
cap on
have
asteroids here? You're talking
so
about.
there's 250,000 asteroids. Period. That's it. There's no more. It is a finite resource in game. It's and there's 11 different types of resources,
Dude,
or
that is
11 different.
smaller than Bitcoin's max supply. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, but
that's like
yeah,
Andre Cronje took DeFi to the MMO world right there.
yeah, and I think segueing into DeFi, if you were to break this game down, it's like it's an immersive MMO that is built off of DeFi, because we're going to start seeing probably liquidity pools show up on Uniswap for resources that are in game. You're going to maybe be like, God, I really need some uranium, uh, or and I just don't have any, but I have like a shitload of ice that is helpful for life support. Let me see what the conversion rate is on Uniswap for that, and get some uranium immediately.
Yeah.
And then people who are lending their uranium are going to earn fees, in the form of tokens by doing that. So it really is an economy, and I think that is both a awesome thing and a little bit of a scary thing for some people, because I think people have not wrapped their brains around DeFi quite as much as maybe I have, because I'm in it every day. But I think it's unbelievably cool. Like, I'm frothing at the bit to play my own, like, this game. Like, I want this to release so bad, like for future releases, so that I can spend all my hours when I'm not working on the game playing the game.
That's huge. Idolize says it's free to play. It's free to play, but it's built on ETH. Could you talk about how gas fees come into play with all these resource transactions?
Yeah,
Great
great
question.
question. Yeah. So another reason why we're not allowing further interaction between players besides buying and selling asteroids and scanning them for bonuses in our first release is because of gas fees. Right now, without layer two solutions like ZK rollups or Optimistic, it is very expensive to utilize the network for microtransactions constantly. So we're going to be moving this game or to be built on layer two solutions here very soon,
Like
and this
Immutable
will
X, or are you guys exploring IMX, or
we're not exploring immutable X. Not saying that they're not a good option, and it's a possibility, but likely it's going to be more up like directly on chain, with ZK rollups and things like that. But once we get that plugged in, there's going to be infinite possibility to doing microtransactions because the cost of that is so low,
yeah?
and it's batched. So right now, every transaction has to individually go or be mined. Whereas later, when you're able to have, let's say 10,000 little transactions be put to the chain all at once, and that count as one transaction, that cost, let's say it's $10 for that transaction, is split between 10,000 little transactions. So to the player, that costs very little. And because you can earn in game, this is a play to earn game. Hopefully, you're not having to put money in every month to play it. If you're decent at the game, you can earn that back. Um, However, and this is free. So, like, we're not charging anything. The only money that you might be spending is if you want to buy something secondary, or you're trying to trade something for more than what you have, or you're just going gung ho, playing a lot, and not selling anything. Then you might have to fund your wallet with a little bit of money so that you have some credit to go.
Someone said, "What is the plan for when regulators like FinCEN come knocking at the door for you?"
I think that's a really good question, and there's so many different blockchain games that are coming out right now that I think it's going to be a big discussion in probably like 3 to 5 years of what that's going to be like. But I think how I like to think about it is
They're gonna
if
say, "Hey,
money,
give us McDonald's advertising space. You're good."
yeah, or I always think it's just if it's good for economy and there's money flowing and people are paying what they owe, then they're going to have regulation that's good. If if people are bad actors and we get a lot of blockchain games that are not participating in lawful transactions, then we're gonna see some unfortunate things unfold. So I think it's up to people like Influence and Parallels and all these other games that are coming out to just pave the way for others to and say like, hey, we're doing it by the books. We're and at that point, then we have nothing really to fear. I mean, as much as anyone else has to fear about their business, being regulated.
Yeah, you really got to go into like maritime law and go all the way out in the ocean or something if you
Yeah, and I mean, it's
servers and
definitely
stuff.
interesting because it's a global. Anyone can play. It's not limited by what country you're in or anything like that. So like every country has its own laws. So
Is
honestly,
there like big Chinese communities and Arabic communities that are in here like that are really excited about from you seeing your activity in Discord?
oh God, we have so many members in our Discord at this point. I think we've got like I don't know. I lost track at this point, but we see people from all over the world. We definitely have people, from Asia. We have Europe. We have plenty of American, South American. I don't particularly ask people where they're from, but you can tell by some people's names that they and that they're not from the
What
U.S.
would the beings be called on influence? The influenzias, or what is that something?
Hopefully not the influenzas. That's the.
No, no, no.
I think you're gonna have a lot of different terms, but space pirates.
Yeah, is
I'm
there any way
excited
that
about.
Young Content could DJ up there? Maybe you could talk to your boss. Hey, one day I could do like a
Dude, I see so much potential for things that can happen in this game that like we don't even know are possible right now. But like having a DJ show, like maybe you're part of some corporation in game that hosts a party, and you have to show your NFT corporation badge from Influence in another, DJ online community like metaverse game,
For
and
real.
you get access. It's like your ticket in to the young content DJ show.
For real, dude. Because I know Parallel's gonna. They got me a cool little thing coming out with like I think a card, which I'm super honored. And that stuff is cool, man. When your community is like highlighting like people that you love in your community, and
Yeah, I
they're
mean,
building up with it. That's like the best ROI. That's like you'll always be there. You'll always invest. You'll always talk about it. You'll always like just shill it, because you love it so
yeah,
much.
I think it's super cool. I mean, and because you can name your asteroid, like we're gonna probably see some people buying them and naming them after like things people recognize. Like
You can
I'm
name
assuming,
them.
yeah. I mean,
Oh,
and so anyone out there, I don't know who's doing it, but someone's gonna name something like Elon Musk or SpaceX on their asteroid, and then they're gonna be able to meme people for all of eternity because Elon Musk apparently is the meme lord.
is that something you have to pay gas for to name?
So
It's
yeah,
like ENS domains or Unstoppables.
no, no, you can name it through the game, but that is something you'd have to pay gas for. So there's a little bit of cost there. At this point, gas is actually pretty cheap on Ethereum. I was reading some article. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't have a lot of time to read into the tech because there's so much coming out day by day. But gas has been pretty affordable the last week.
Wow. Someone said this is a comrade Sam will come for your wallet, but miss and get your butthole. This is an Eve online meme, but will there be walking in stations?
Walking in. So I'm not an Eve player. That's Chris. I wish he was here to answer that.
Walking in
Um,
stations.
but I will say for anyone listening, like he basically led one of the first, like I think it's called a test alliance, the a corporation called Dreadit in Eve Online, and he ran the finances for it. So like he was a very long time OG, like high level player in Eve, and he had the vision for influence, through kind of that playing. So for people who like Eve Online and are listening to this, like, yeah, buckle up. This is going to be really fun.
Uh, that's awesome. So someone said his name is NWAVS N Waves. I had not heard about Parallel before the stream. Thanks for doing this. Down the rabbit hole I go. Wait, what's Chris Eve's name? Chris Eve name? Wait, what's Chris Eve name?
Oh, Darkos Nightmare is that's how you can find him in our Discord. But he was I think I'm not sure the question they're asking, but he was part of
His
Reddit.
username on Eve.
I think Darkos Nightmare. I don't know for sure. He hasn't played Eve in a while. He's an older player,
Dude,
but yeah, he's
one day you got to bring him on stream. I got to meet this guy. You
Oh,
know,
we're planning on doing a lot more of this. It's just, when you're releasing a game with a fairly small team, you only have so much time to dedicate to shows like this. So yeah, one, thank you for having us. But
for
like,
sure, bro. I
you know,
mean, I'm
we have,
looking forward to having you guys more. I'm looking forward to fucking being NFT family. Fuck.
yeah, asteroid buddies.
For real, bud. Um, so there's a game called Star Atlas, and you guys seem like you're right here. I mean, I don't know what time period Star Atlas started. They're getting a lot of hype. You guys are getting a lot of hype. There's a synergy going on here, huh? Or
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of games. I think. I mean, space is cool, so why not have space games? I think space is like I guess one thing to separate influence, and I don't know if Star Atlas is doing this, but like influence is a realistic based space game. So like this isn't like warp drive, special laser power, star game. This is like fairly realistic industrialized space mining game that's going to have economy and war and things like that.
okay. And what about aliens? There's not going to be anything like that.
No aliens. I mean, maybe like 10 years from now, if we discover real aliens, then we'll introduce aliens because then that's a real thing.
The what is the lore? Like the first paragraph of the lore. Has the lore come out for this, or are you kind of saving that?
No. We have if you guys visit the website and go to the story section, we do have lore. Kind of the introduction of the game is that Earth is kind of dying. It's not very habitable at this point, and so people are leaving Earth on these huge ships to go and discover possibly habitable planets. And as the ship, the Arvad, takes off from Earth and is going on its journey, something happens and they go off course and they're not going to be able to make it to their original destination. And with the fuel that they have left, they end up on this asteroid belt because they scanned it and saw that these asteroids were heavily rich in possibly life supporting resources. And so the game, the arrival release, is based on that arrival to the belt. So now people are able to colonize these asteroids to make a life for themselves.
Nice. And then can religion get involved in here? Because I'm just a religious fanatic. And
If people want to start religious cults in game, like, yeah, that's probably possible. Me personally, I'd probably stay away from that. I'm going to be probably
well,
more
but
of a
that makes some
science
of the
guy.
best storylines, man. The Game of Thrones and the
Oh,
foundations.
we're and so I think maybe this is an interesting point, and I've been writing a lot of short story vignettes, posting them to our Medium channel of just kind of like characters that could be possible in game, and then like giving some lore around that. But what we plan on kind of doing is dependent on how the game is shaped and these alliances and corporations grow within game. I will be writing stories to immortalize events that have happened in game. So if there's like this huge marketplace that shows up in game that probably took a lot of communication and conversation between players. And I want to interview some of the key players throughout that so that I can get a sense of like what it took to make that happen and then kind of like give them their player name and write stories about them so that they can be like put in a time
Text
capsule
like a
of
textbook
influence.
that you'll teach the future star citizens.
Yeah, like how did influence come to be this huge world 10 years from now or whatever, and we'll be able to point back at like,
You pull
you
it out the
know,
meta dusty
whatever.
encyclopedia library, blow off the dust. Fucking.
Yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be a ton of fun. I think that's one of the beauties of the game is that the storyline is not set in stone. It's not like this the lore isn't all just pre-written and you're playing within that. And so you have the ability to tell your own story. So everyone who owns an asteroid or plays the game, regardless of you own an asteroid, you'll be able to tell your own story and make, a life for yourself within the belt.
Is there going to be like a teleport system here, or do you have to travel with fuel the whole time?
So back to that realistic and industrial space game. No, you there's no teleportation. This is actually going to be one of the most challenging and coolest parts of the game is getting from places to places. So if you imagine like all these asteroids are rotating around a star, they don't all rotate at the same speed. They don't all rotate on the same axis. And so if you have an asteroid here and it's rotating kind of like more vertically than horizontally, you're going to have certain time frames where you're closer to maybe the main hub than others. And so, in order to maximize your efficiency and fuel cost to getting to market, you're probably going to plan on maybe a few days a month that you're close to that marketplace to launch and go drop your resources off at the marketplace to sell and then get back to your asteroid in time before it's really far away and it costs you a lot of fuel to get
Wow. So I might as well just. I probably that's I might as well just stay in place and just wait till this shit comes for me, right? Just float and just
there.
get killed. You're talking about real PvP, like what guns?
So it's going to be more like the PvP is going to be really interesting. So I think a line that I'm going to steal from Chris is that there is no hiding in space. Like if you envision space, there's nothing you can hide behind. Like an asteroid's going to be a million miles away. You're not really hiding behind it. So when PvP comes into play, it's strategic. It's going to be positioning. What you're going to plan on doing. It's almost like chess when you think about it, because if a player moves one way and you move another, that's going to open opportunity up that like in chess, you have to play turn by turn. So it's almost turn based in that sense because it'll evolve as people move.
Yeah. Can you get perma banned or like perma banned from your asteroid or perma loss?
No, so I think when you introduce PvP into a game like this, people want to have real stakes involved. They want to be able to go ransack people's asteroids and steal their resources and things like that. that's going to be possible. But if you own that asteroid, someone cannot just take that from you. You still have physical ownership of it, but there will be kind of this ability where someone could almost take over your asteroid, and then you're going to have to use different mechanics to like get them off of your asteroid. You can either strike up a deal with them and be like, "Hey guys, like what's it going to take for you guys to leave?" Or you're going to have to hire, like with your resources that you have left, some like good guys, the commanders, to come in and like you know push the pirates off of your land
Damn.
and claim it. So
And that's what stakes the good guys to be a commander, because they're gonna get paid to
yeah, so
eliminate the trolls.
there's going to be a lot of different gameplay that evolves through kind of the protection of asteroids, marketplaces, pirates, intercepting ships between trade places, and yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. I'm really excited. I have like this is a totally stupid and silly thought, but like when because I'm going to be making this game, I'm not going to have a lot of time to probably play the game as well. But like I thought it'd be really fun to like do a space tourism ride where like people could hop onto my ship, but like if I wanted to be evil, I could like tell pirates where I'm gonna be, and then
Oh,
them like come and ransack the ship and like steal everyone's goods and then give me a cut of it. Like this is all things that can happen in game.
scammer! He's
But it's
taking
like
credit card fraud to the next fucking level.
God, yeah. But it's not scam. It's all
I
gameplay,
know. I'm
and
just kidding.
yeah, no, but I think like to make a point and making sure people aren't afraid of this game is the first word of play to earn is play. And if the game is not fun and playful, no one wants to play it. So
For sure.
like that's our first motivation is making this
Is
game really fun.
I think something fun to me when I play a game is the soundtrack. Is it gonna be constantly like? Is it gonna be like a over and over, or are you guys working with good film scores? Because that really makes like
Yeah,
a great game.
the sound is a big one. That's a challenge. I think that's a layer of the game that's going to require a lot of thought. And that's not my expertise. That's not our artist's expertise. We're going to have to bring on someone who knows game sound. And I actually someone has got in contact with me. I'm sorry if you're listening. I haven't followed up because I've been so busy. But we're gonna probably have a lot of interesting music and sound effects and everything created for this game. Um, so if anyone listening is into that, reach out to me in the Discord. My Discord name's Etherway, Etherway.
Yeah.
You'll see
What
me. I'm one of the two that are in the Discord from the
and
team.
and 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 this game will have its own currency, like the Prime token of Parallel, or
Not really. So you're going to pay for things and resources. So when you build a building, it's going to require, let's say, 500 iron, 20 platinum, 10 uranium, whatever it is. So you're turning in resources to build things. But because that's not super efficient when it comes to trading with players, likely what we're going to see is some of the more rare resources and some of the like common resources. Like some of the common resources will end up being like the pennies, and some of the rarer ones will be like the $100 bills. And so when someone trades, they're going to be like, all right, cool, but the cost is going to be 2 platinum and 40 iron. So and on the backbone of it, it's Ethereum. So you could directly trade Ethereum if you wanted to, but I think keeping it within the ecosystem is probably a smarter initial play for players, so that you're not involving Ethereum, raw Ethereum all the time.
so. Idolize said, how big is the dev team? What other projects have you guys developed or worked on before? Definitely looks interesting.
Yeah, good question. So dev team, we're pretty small. We're a total team of five, and that's including our two artists. So really, there's three people. I'm more on the user experience design side, but our lead developer Chris, who has started this whole game, is oh god, I think he's going on 2 decades worth of code experience, and he's led 5 different startups to successful launches and turned around. Whereas if you're talking specifically about games we've launched before, we don't have games under our belt. But I will say that after this arrival launch, because of our roadmap and everything that we have coded already and planned out, we know how to. If Chris knows how to do one thing, it's lead a team, and we're going to bring on people who know how to build games really well, and we have people in mind, and it's going to go smoothly and we have our action plan,
Yeah, and
and
that's
we're
kind
ready
of
to
why
go.
you kind of ape in or like trust something,
Yeah,
because you guys are
I
trying to raise seed
Yeah, I
rounds.
mean, there's inherent risk with early adoption of anything, whether it's a Kickstarter project, an Indiegogo, or a blockchain game or something like that. There's no guarantee, but I think if you were to look at our resources that we've put out, our website and the game client, which you can go look at right now, if you go to our website and scroll down a little bit, you can go into the game client, and like this is not like some shitty little thing that we're trying to prove a concept with. This is like a 3D world that is 250,000 procedurally generated asteroids, and there was a lot of work to get here. We're not rug pulling anyone, and we're equally as excited to play this game as anyone else, if not more. So we're not we're
Yeah,
ready.
I gotta say the design is fascinating.
Yeah.
Very alien, like Shajona Weaver, your own style. I love the bridges, the portals, um, and
Some of those images that you're looking at, the ones that kind of have those tubes that I don't know if you're showing people on screen, but it's kind of that blue background with the tubes
yeah,
in
that one, yeah.
that like sneak peek or maybe something people don't know, but that's kind of going to be something you're going to be able to build. They're transportation tubes that are going to maximize the efficiency and speed in which like your ship will be able to get to other asteroids. So to hop from asteroid to asteroid, you'll be able to build these, and it's actually a way that people are going to drive markets to their asteroids because they're going to be like easier to get
This
to
saves
by
fuel
building.
too.
Yeah, so because you're using these, it's going to be easier to get to your asteroid, and therefore you're going to be able to drive more business to yours versus someone else's because it's going to be less expensive to get to you.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I really,
Yeah.
as a science, I'm not a science nerd, but I would love for you guys to explore the elemental table, like thorium, clean nuclear energy. You know what I mean? That would be super cool with the
Oh
scientists,
yeah.
like they know how to like fuse and, like you're saying
Oh,
earlier.
we're heavy into that. Like if you go and read our white paper, I'll link it in the. It's actually in our Discord in the like announcements channel and things like that. But our white paper goes into detail about like how robust the
Alchemy.
resource. Yeah, like resource crafting is heavy in this game. Like you're gonna need very particular resources to do certain things, build certain structures, and we're going to try and do it as realistically as possible. So
Let me call you right back. I'm streaming.
that's gonna be really fun.
I'll call you right back. Sorry about that. Holy fuck. Oh man. See, they wanted to know about the asteroids. Shit. I lose my job. I lose my fucking girlfriend, and I'm fucking here talking about NFTs. That's awesome. I'm just joking,
Well, I'm sorry that your job and girlfriend have left you, but you have asteroids now.
dude. I got asteroids. I didn't. She wasn't my girl. And NFTs and asteroids and just the entire just seeing it. You can see it move in real time. You're saying this
Yeah.
thing moves and reacts to its
Yeah.
environment in real
So
time.
it's sped up. So basically the every hour is one day in game. And so if you go and click on an asteroid, it might have an orbital period of let's say 600 days. And so you would divide that by 24, and the number that you would get would be how many days in real life it's going to take your asteroid to circle all the way around. And so through that, you're going to have a lot of interesting emergent gameplay because it might take a whole month for your asteroid to get all the way around. And at different points in time, you're going to be closer to different things that might be important to you. So there might be a time where all these asteroids are like going to be really close to the main market, and that's the time where pirates might come out more or something like that. So we're going to see like ebb and flow of all these different things coming together, and it's going to be really exciting.
Dude, what makes you happy?
Outside of this game,
Yeah,
oh, I love board games, woodworking, disc golf, and friends, and a quality cocktail.
nice. Not a quality beer.
Honestly, beer doesn't sit well with me. I love them. I just can't drink them that well. If I'm going to choose a beer, my favorite beer would probably be Anderson Valley Summer Solstice.
Hmm.
It's it's so good and creamy and delicious and
Yeah.
easy to drink on a hot summer
And
day.
do you feel like you have the Jedi within you to be a Luke Skywalker and influence, or you're more of the Sith side, or probably neutral based?
Ooh, I've struggled to decide what I'm gonna. I think I'm pretty neutral. I'm probably gonna be like the Jar Jar Binks of Star Wars. You know,
Wow.
like I just want to be a part of things and have fun and
Fuck shit up
like
sometimes.
yeah, and occasionally maybe go really fast in a spaceship. Like
Sweet. I want to start really evil like Kylo Ren and come back. And
oh yeah, then read up on the guides in the sneak peek and
I mean,
announcements channel.
with this mustache, I got to be a pirate or a fucking captain. I don't know, man.
We can maybe name the young content pirate faction or something. Like we'll come up with something fun for
Dude.
you.
Um, Everyone is literally excited in the chat. Said, "Gotta check this out. Stay positive, young. Thank you, brother. Thank you, twin. It's all good, man. You can stop at my depot and sell your wares. I'll move them to the inner. Are you an Expanse fan? Are you a Belta Loda at heart?
um,
Saki.
yeah, so I love the show The Expanse. Chris loves it even more. And yeah, we're belters. We work hard in space, and we're hoping to build some cool things. But if you watch The Expanse, we're definitely belters. We're not
I
flat
don't even know what that means. You guys are talking gibberish, but
landers.
that's fucking awesome. Because now I'm intrigued. Um, can you so with everything on OpenSea, and I feel like space MMOs are the new DeFi. Because there's only one, two, and then you have like the Curve, and you have the Aave, and they're all right here. And do you think you see an influx of space MMOs, or Ember Swords keeps it on the ground? I know you.
So
What's some of your favorite MMOs right now? Like you got Gala Games, Mirandus, Lost
yeah,
Relics.
it's interesting because MMOs were kind of like a dying breed of game for like the last 5 years. I wouldn't say dying; they're still very popular. But like when you think about MMOs, you think of like the height of World of Warcraft times when like 15 million people were actively playing this game like all the time, and that kind of like petered off for a while. And now it's kind of making a resurgence, and I like that this is happening on blockchain. Do I think a lot of other games on blockchain are going to be space MMOs? I mean, maybe.
Just integrate with them, guys. Just you don't gotta compete. You just
But
could
like, why,
feast.
why compete when you already have influence? That's what I'm
For real.
saying.
You have influence with your NFT. You have influence being influenced who they are.
But
Um,
there are some other cool games coming out on blockchain. We're not like the only cool game, but
yeah.
I think we're in the realm of like in the elite like status of like cool ideas
I
on
would say
blockchain.
you guys, Luvium, and Parallel. Who else is a really good game? Star Atlas.
Oversword,
I got to give them
cool.
credit. Um, Hodl God. I like their name. I just wish they would change their name. They're like a battle royale. I don't know how Hodl God is gonna exist. But
Yeah, and I think there's a place for all these different types of games. It's a really awesome place to be, and like I said earlier, it's more collaborative than competitive. There's plenty of people here that are wanting to play games. If anyone knows anything, there's billions of people on this planet playing video games every day, and so like there's a space for everyone. And I think blockchain games need to kind of just come together and ensure that we're putting out good experiences for our players, so that people aren't afraid of blockchain. It's like this scary word still, and I think games have a really good ability to be the way showers in that it's not scary, but only if it's done well. If people can play a game and not even know that they're utilizing the blockchain, then that's a really positive
and
experience.
speaking of that, how do you guys get rid of bots in your pre-sale?
So, it's kind of something that like there's no way to perfectly prevent that. And if the bots want to buy all the asteroids, then like sell them on secondary markets. Like players right now who know about the game and want to buy an asteroid are going to have the ability. There's 250,000 of them of these asteroids. So like we're not afraid of bots just buying all of them in a minute and just like there we go. And the thing about this too is like if a bot buys these asteroids and then never does anything with it, they don't sell it, they just sit on it. When PvP comes around, the asteroids that are owned or unowned, but basically they're not being used whatsoever, it becomes free for all PvP land. And so you can go and mine that asteroid, even if it's owned, if there's nothing on it. But if the owner comes back, they can kind of like, again, figure out a way to kick you off or make you rent or lease. Or like a pirate can just come by and like fight you for control of that asteroid a lot easier than one that's being played on already. So there's going to be a lot of interesting things that we see after this
Yeah, I
sale.
personally hate bots. I'm fucking a John Connor when it comes to them. So if I can get a piece of the pie before them motherfuckers, I'm gonna be fucking living the dream.
A tip to you then would be just be on right at launch, know which one you can buy. Like if people are listening right now, you can go to the game client right now at game.influenceth.io, and you can find that in our website as well. But you can watch list asteroids. So you can go find the one that you want right now, watch list it, and when the game launches, you press it, you buy it.
Got it. That's really
Yeah.
good. That's really good. Someone said, "What is the total amount of ETH cost for all the asteroids?"
Oh God, if like we sold all of them,
Yeah.
if we sold every single asteroid in the
Yeah.
belt,
Mm-hmm.
I think like $40 million or something like that would be
Holy
the
shit.
total cost. But we don't expect every single one to sell. So because some of these asteroids, if you look at the size scale, like 90% of these asteroids are small or medium, but the huge ones are like 100,000 times the size of the smallest asteroid. So, and the price is directly correlated with the size. So there's about 24 asteroids that are like the gigantic size, and the most expensive one is like $1.2 million, I think, right now. With the price of Ether, it might have gone up today because I know Ether is on a tear. But with that said, we're probably going to see later in game, if that doesn't get purchased during the sale, um, what we'll see is like a group of players band together, and they'll be like, "All right, we've harvested enough resources together, we have enough ships, we've generated enough value, we have that money. We're going to buy that asteroid for our corporation and utilize it in game." And so we're gonna see those types of things develop, which we think is really cool.
Wow. So how many ETH? You're just gonna have to calculate. I have a flat list of 50 rocks so far to buy. Um, that's awesome. That 40 mil figure could be all the fuck over the place with recent price. Can you completely mine an asteroid out? Does it auto replenish? I'm assuming resources can't be finite.
So resources are unlimited, but it's time and space. So like if you buy the smallest asteroid right now, I think it's about 10 plots or spaces that you'll have to build structures and storage and things like that. And so once you've built out those 10 plots, you can only maximize the efficiency so much. So you can't pull resources all that fast compared to someone who has an asteroid 5 times the size and built out twice as much as you, because they have access to more volume and more surface area and more spaces to build on. So whether you can't run out of resources, but the amount you can pull at any given time will be limited by the space and your efficiency of mining.
Wow.
Um, yeah, yeah, it's a lot. And also, so like if people are looking, you might see there's 11 different types of asteroids, and the ones that are combinations. So there's pure ones that are C, M, I, and S, and then there's ones that are combined like CIS. That is a combination of a C, an I, and an S asteroid all in one. And so the resources on that asteroid will be all of what C, I, and S have, but the quantities of those resources are semi-random. So you might have a CIS that's 70% C, 10% I, and 20% S, or vice versa. You don't really know until you scan and know that asteroid. So it's going to be something interesting that we're going to introduce in the next launch of the game, where you can core sample your asteroid. So you basically take a sample of your asteroid, you'll know the composition of it, and then let's say you have some really rare resources, but they're in small quantities, you'll know where that is, and you'll be able to build mining centers to target those rare resources better than if you didn't take a core sample.
Someone said hot tip: buy anything with fucking metal. That's funny. That's a hot tip. I see what you did there. Um,
Metals will be valuable for sure because of shipbuilding and
dude,
structure.
I honestly am kind of happy that you came on the show and gave us the full influence scoop. We didn't even talk about anything else because nothing else really mattered. Parallel did, and I would love you guys to like even collaborate with Ben Morrow. Like, I love his art. And I got his art, his evolution series on Vive. Um, I don't know if you know who Ben Morrow is, but he created
I
Elysium.
don't, but like if he's a sweet artist that like does some cool stuff, like tell him to reach out to us or just like
Well,
get in the
he's
Discord.
high up there. He's humble. He's a big timer. But just I'll probably reach out to him and be like, hey, you should check this out. He collaborated with this other project with like Ferocious from Super Rare. Um, but
That's cool.
I'm loving what I'm hearing. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Um, there's crazy people calling me all the time right now. But I wanted to ask you, what are some last thoughts you have on this game, um, and why influence compared to I don't even think you have to compare it. It speaks for itself.
Yeah, why influence? I think what we're doing is different. It's going to be extremely fun, really immersive, and I think it's going to pull players in and create a community that's going to be really fun to be part of. And you'll be able to show your colors, your faction, your stuff like it's just it feels community driven. And if you guys are listening and not already in the Discord, like we're going to be creating channels for like the pirate faction and all this stuff. So like it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. And I'm just so excited and so overwhelmed with like just gratitude that people are interested and like what I'm like saying because up until like launch, we don't know how it's gonna go. Like day of launch, we will know if people liked it or they didn't like the
Yeah,
idea.
I
But
think this is not gonna go like Cheese Wizards. I think people really are excited for the first mover of Eve, the Eve of blockchain. And like I said, you and Star Atlas are just some of the big boys, and I just hope that you guys could work together and not against each other. And I think the community will speak, and as long as you're putting the right intentions out there and being a positive light and representing your community well, you're gonna have great
yeah,
ROI.
and I think that's something we really like. Thank you for hosting us because we want people like you in the community, people who are just like fun to talk to, fun to be like around. We don't want just like this to be in a dark cave.
What do you mean PvP? You mean where's the loot
Yeah, like
boxes?
there's a place for everyone. If you want to be a hardcore pirate that like just fuck shit up, then you can do that. But like if you want to just have fun and casual play, you're going to be able to do that. So uh, thank you again for the time and parallels. Alluvium, like all you guys are fucking awesome. Jeremy and Sasha, you guys are cool. Like thank you. Um, we're the hype squad right now. We got each other's backs.
Yeah, for
So
real. You guys
keep
are
keep all of
council.
us
You
on the
guys are
radar.
councilmen in your own right. You guys need Jeremy on your council too. I think it'd be nice.
Oh, Jeremy and I we were talking today. So he I think from Parallels team, like I'm kind of I'll steal his phrase, like I'm kind of the cat or sheep herder. Like I'm just trying to get all the ducks in a row and
Yeah.
then like help do the design work, but the development team will be handling like the hardcore development side, and I'm trying to make sure that this community is awesome and people know what this game is and what they're getting into, and I hope people want to be part of it. So show up in force on Saturday and we'll get this game out fast.
And
Like
Young Content is gonna have a badass asteroid or a couple because I wasn't expecting the 8-bit in parallel like I did, but it just drew me in. As soon as I saw the UI, I was like, all right, I'm spending 2 grand. And it was
yeah,
just,
yeah.
I'm not like an epic whale or anything. It's just I got in early, and that's what I pride. I found Decentraland when it was in the beginning, and this
Yeah,
reminds me of that. This has that same feeling
yeah,
I
we
had
hope.
of Decentraland.
And one thing I didn't mention, anyone who participates in the launch will be rewarded. We're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff for the early adopters. So like you said, you got into Decentraland early and you're rewarded for it. We want to reward people who are trusting us early on. So stay tuned for some more information on that. That's going to be we're working hard. We have some cool art coming out, and you guys are gonna get some pretty cool stuff.
Last question said, just join the Discord. Look forward to learning more. Big props, Young. Love finding out about new projects, dude. Idolize, love you, bro. We're gonna make it through this. All right, we're gonna go to space together in the same. We're gonna be in the cockpit together. Twin, you're really positive too. He said the positivity NFT community is one of the biggest draws for me, and you make that what it is. Twin, you're always set. You know, just by your messages, just by your retweets, just by going in their Discord and spreading some love or asking a question. It's all the little minute little mining that you do that makes this thing a bigger asteroid. And with that, I need you to give us some last Sensei wisdom. Every time the guest is here, he always has to give some Sensei wisdom. So you got the floor.
Ooh, all right.
Shit.
Give me a few seconds here.
Channel your inner Sensei, man.
Yeah, someone once told me it's okay to value some moments over others, and you don't always have to compare your whole life to your greatest achievements. So every day, take out your favorite moment and know that, like, just because of that, you had a good day. If you can find one good moment in your whole day, you know, that's better than a lot.
Dude, that touched my heart. And yeah, even if I did lose my job, I found good moments in even talking to you. So this was really good, and it's in the archive. So I appreciate your time. Stay on the call. Mute your mic. We're going to music.
Cool.
Influence to the moon. See you Saturday.